For the first time in the ERL's history, we've arrived in Sweden, where Nicholas Palomino's on pole from Remy Lebeau and Revo. Casper Lebeau starts 4th from Awful Catfish and Carlos Kynes. 7th place is Charles Hernandez, followed by the Red Devil and Dav Sanchez. 10th place, Your Boy, followed by Season 10 and Season 21 champion Cable, multiple-time race winner Zygmunt, and the rookie David 12. Starting 13th from Sebastian Ocampo and Oinkro Ezra. Daniel Bogdasarov down in 16th from Marcus Nelson and First Theo, then Babinus Jr., Ericsson celebrating his home race, Ewa Puff, and Anok Hugh. It's always great to return to a brand new location. The Malmö E3 is about to get underway. And for the first time, we go green in Sweden, and it's a great start off the line from Casper Lebeau. We go on board with the number 34, already about to clear the 7 of Revo before they make their way into the opening chicane. It's still a Red Bull Sims 1-2. Revo's got the outside line. That becomes the inside coming through 3 as he's now alongside with Remy Lebeau. You don't want to stay there for too long, and you're almost seeing why they get so close to the wall. And we've got yellows already on this opening lap. That seems to be for Ionet Babinus Jr. It is not. It is for Anok Hugh. He's got front wing damage. As you can see, Remy Lebeau all over the back of Nicholas Palomino, the top 3 in this race as they were on the grid, and they're all the fan boost winners for this season. As you can see, Dav Sanchez further back, dropping down to 11th position. And it looks like there's a bit of a midfield split, and off the track and off it hard for Dav Sanchez. He's got wing damage and a time penalty. Looks like he bumped into another driver and then just slid across the wall. Unfortunate for the Season 5 Champ Car World Series champion and the Season 6 Champ Car World Series runner-up as we begin lap 2 of 15. The Season 6 Champ Car champion, Nicholas Palomino, leads here in Sweden, but he's got a 5-second time penalty for cutting corners. We're likely to see a lot of those today. It didn't exceed the threshold set by the ERL as that's close to the wall for Revo. You don't want to do that too often when you've got a championship on the line. Your boy flies off the track and oh, that's a big wreck! Oh no! Hold your breath, everybody. That's Oinkro Ezra and Daniel Bogdasarov off the track and out of the race for Ezra. Major wing damage for Daniel. And the first full course caution here in Sweden in any ERL race is an airborne wreck, including the Nigerian number 47. We do have some news on the ERL 03s. We should be able to give you some exclusive footage with B-Dragon Sonic, the 10-time Formula E champion, driving around London, as we are now back under the green flags. A bit of a spread forming in the top 3. For Revo, finishing behind Remy Lebeau. It's still bad, but it's not as bad as if he was going to finish behind the other Lebeau, Casper. The top 5 all staying out. Carlos Kynes having an absolute stormer up in 5th. That Mercedes car has never looked too strong in this current regulation cycle. As you can see, Casper flying off the track. He wants to make the pass in that number 34 car. Can he hold on to it? Goes off the track and out of the race! Big one! Casper Lebeau is out of this race. Major front wing damage for Revo as well. He's got a time penalty for track limits infringements. His teammates come down pit row. And for Mercedes, this is brilliant news. They're on course for a podium as it stands. It's only lap 3 and the title picture is unbelievable. After this race, there are 75 points left on offer. That's a race win in Hong Kong and the double points race win in St. Petersburg. I'm sorry, that's a regular race win in Vienna, as there goes Carlos Kynes up into 3rd place as he weaves quite a bit and hits the wall on his own, does the 55. That's what low grip does to these cars. As you can see, Ericsson getting past Ewa Puff, Babinus Jr. making the pass as well. Can he? He cannot, as that's a lot of weaving from the 28 at home. There's Kynes in front, and we've got yellows in Sector 3. Is that for Anok Hugh? It is. He's facing backwards. As you can see, that's Daf Sanchez. These two have driven in the same category. Thankfully, no contact, but that's held up the 72. A lot of drivers diving down into pit lane at the end of that prior lap. It's Remy LeBeau, however, who leads and gets close to the wall. David 12 in the number 12 car, 22%. This is where we're seeing the current Michelin tires being pushed to their limits, as we now have confirmation that next season Michelin will not be continuing with us. Formula E will be supplied by Bridgestone. As you can see, your boy there with that damage that he hasn't actually been able to get repaired. Seemingly, next EV, don't believe it's too much of a problem. That's a big slide for Remy LeBeau. Remy LeBeau sliding there. He's got damage. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. We've got yellows in Sector 2, and it's a full course yellow, as that is pole sitter Nicholas Palomino out in Malmö. Well, that's going to help Remy as he comes down into pit lane to get off of those medium tires and to fix that front wing. It's going to help David 12, and crucially for the homeboy Linus Eriksson in the 28, he can't get an advantage from that. He cannot. Thankfully, however, these guys are all getting off of their tires before it could all go wrong. UK Ball takes the race lead. Does he? He doesn't. Not immediately, at least. Remy LeBeau comes out of the pits in front of the 89 with 10 laps left to run. Looking back, Babinus Jr. doesn't have much left to fight because he's the only man out there who is yet to make his first stop. Flying off the track there is the two-time Formula E champion Zygmunt with a corner cut time penalty. That's, oh! Big hit for Sebastian Ocampo. You don't like seeing side swipes. Absolutely not. Thankfully, Ocampo still with all four wheels on his wagon. As we go on board with you, a path forced to lift. That looked like a bit of a brake test from Brazil's versus Theo, the only man scoring points. Potentially scoring points. That's a big off for Daniel Bogdasarov. Daniel Bogdasarov flying off the track in the number 97. Trying to hold on there, and I just don't think he can. For versus Theo, he's the only Amlin Aguirre man who is capable of scoring points today. It does seem as if Hyperdrive Racing, while it's not going to be a strong outing for them, if they can get some points, it'll put them in a better position. As there goes David 12 in front of Revo. That's good news for the man in the 7. 9 laps to go from Malmö in the inaugural Malmö ePrix. Daf Sanchez with the fastest lap. Remy LeBeau, your race leader, as he tries to go for his second Formula E World Drivers' Championship. And Versio getting a 5-second time penalty for cutting corners. Well, we're seeing a lot of those today as we ride on board with UK Ball. Power Motorsports still looking for their first win in Formula E with the Monster Energy partnership. And not Q getting a corner cut warning, as that's a lot of weaving for Catfish, who holds P2 as Sanchez is heading off. Oh, that's big, that's big, that's big. Oh no, Sanchez faces backwards. Looks like it was contact with Marcus Nelson. The 72 tries to get it back on track. Where is a not Q? And Bogdasarov, they're far away, so it's a 5-second time penalty for Remy LeBeau corner cuts. We go green again, thankfully. What caused that between those two? Looks like, according to the telemetry that we have here, it was just 2-1, just not going at all, as the Red Devil with a corner cut time penalty in that number 99, who we now ride on board with. David 12, the rookie, trying to get another podium. It's been one of the hard, fast, charging rookies that we've had in this electric racing lead. That is quite a ways off the track for Linus Eriksson. The home driver, the home champion, it's Versio going wide behind him. Just about managing to keep it clean. It's a 10-second time penalty as well for the Brazilian. 10 seconds, that's out of contention for any position that you're fighting for. Of course, Sanchez has come out of pit lane there, and he is definitely not going to have a good day in the office. It looks like Remy LeBeau's there with him. off the track, almost reversed Theo, but it looks like he's looking at a potential move, but he gets covered off by Linus Eriksson. Off the track there for Babinus Jr. Big wide! That's a big wipe for Linus Eriksson. Hits the wall and hits it hard. Zygmunt now leads this race. The Hungarian driver hasn't been in this position for quite some time, formerly entered as not Lewis Hamilton. As we go on board with Remy Lebeau, who's 4 seconds off of Zygmunt. Babinus Jr. with the fastest lap. This looking to be Mercedes' best race in the ERL O2s ever. Better than Valencia season 22. As you are Puff getting a 5 second time penalty in 6th position. We go on board with Charles Hernandez. He's looking at a pass on Theo. That's off the track, but thankfully not off into the barrier, so he can make the lunge in that 52 car and take 7th away. Your boy right behind him, make that right alongside both of them. He gets alongside Puff and he takes 6th position. Meanwhile, further up in 2nd position, that is Remy Lebeau, making easy, light work of Zygmunt. That's the race lead for the Frenchman. You go on board with your boy as Q further back. Q's had a 5 second time penalty handed to him. That was very close between Puff and Charles Hernandez. I was actually wincing there. I thought they were going to collide at the very least, and they didn't. And I think might be some problems for Puff. We expect him to come into the pits, of course, and he does. Corner cut warning for Awful Catfish. Looks like a new fast lap potentially punched in, yes, by Sebastian Ocampo running in 9th. By the way, your points leader coming into this race, Revo, has spent more time outside of the top 10 than within it. That is a problem, of course, as we now have 6 laps to go. And this race now really beginning to find its own rhythm. It's very scenic here in Sweden. Marcus Nelson with a time penalty for cutting corners, which is something you never really want to see. And it's this little chicane, it's got a very weird profile as Kynes gets close to the wall. And it just encourages stuff like that. We've got yellows in the 2nd sector, but it's been cleared up quite quickly. Oh no! UK balls hit the wall. Looks like your boy caused the initial yellow. 5 laps to go as Remy Lebeau, one of the 3 fan boost winners. He's got the fastest lap out in front, ready to win this race as he gets a corner cut warning. In comes Carlos Kynes. As we've got more yellows down in the 2nd sector. Spinning is Puff. Gets it back on the track, but hits Daf Sanchez. Zygmunt further up the order with a time penalty for causing a collision. That is with Daniel Boltasarov as they go 2 by 2. Puff just about getting it back on track as Revo now with a 5 second time penalty for cutting corners. This is getting really intense. Zygmunt and Boltasarov now. They've caught up to the back of your boy. Zygmunt going past your boy, keeping it out of the wall, crucially moving up into 7th place with 5 laps to go. This is really intense now. This is one of the biggest field spreads we've actually seen in quite some time. It's into the wall for Awful Catfish. Another time penalty for track limits for the Malaysian driver. I think we're going to see, outside of the race winner, I think we're going to see a very shaken up finishing order as David 12 blasts past Ionit Babinus Jr. for 3rd place. 4 laps to go from Malmö. And it's this man, already a Formula E champion, his son, an ace champion, top 10 in his only, it seems like, season of the Champ Car World Series was Casper Lebeau, and you can see who taught him how to be fast. Remy Lebeau flying out in front. Corner cut warning for Revo in 2nd place. He's 26 seconds off of Remy Lebeau. And despite them seemingly being on the same strategy, that's just an incomprehensible margin. 5 second time penalty's been given out to Remy Lebeau as if that does anything to stop his advance. And a 5 second time penalty for UK ball as well. David 12 there, running in 9th place. This is still a very solid showing from the rookie. We've seen a lot worse as we now have 3 laps to go. Zygmunt flying off the track. Sorry, I've got something in my throat. Is that close to the wall? How did they keep it out? That's unbelievable stuff between Catfish and Hernandez as they keep it out of the wall. Hernandez getting a 5-second time penalty for track limits. That is shocking. They got so close to the wall, I could have sworn they touched the barriers. And Sigmund and Revo come into the pits and serve their time penalties with 3 laps to go. This is unbelievable stuff, and I know this is what we live for. We expect to see a lot more of this with the ERL 03s, and it's confirmed that we'll have 24 cars in Champ Car and Formula E, 22 in the FG Series and Formula Nippon Series, as we go on board with your boy, who gets past versus Theo. An Q with a corner cut warning, and look at that. Sanchez on the verge of being lapped by Remy Lebeau, but the 26 of course making his pit stop. I mean, this is unbelievable from a strategy point of view for Red Bull Sims Racing. Lap 13 of 15. I wouldn't say that Remy's led every lap of this race. Certainly not every lap if you look at the openings. But ever since his teammate wrecks out, which already not the best result as out of the race for Not You. In the wall. And in the wall hard for the Hong Kong driver. This has been a brilliant showing from that man, Remy Lebeau, and also from this man, Carlos Sainz. He's got roughly about 8 seasons more experience than Remy, as the Red Devil comes in for his 4th stop already. 4 pit stops is unheard of, with so little left to go in this race. Full course cautions ending, and we are back under the greens. 2 laps to go here in Malmö. For Remy Lebeau, it's all about bringing it home. It's all about getting himself into that title battle for real. Revo with a 5-second time penalty for cutting corners. And this is where the tensions are really beginning to rise within that cockpit of the number 26 car. He's been in this position to win races before, again and again and again, as Botasarov with a 5-second time penalty for track limits. It's a lot of weaving for Kynes, but he keeps it out of the wall, thankfully. You can see weaving for David 12 and for Babinis Jr. as well. We go on board with a 14 as he launches and he hits him! Contacts! Oh no! That's a big one for Charles Hernandez. He's got damage. Looks like there was a bit of wheel rubbing between Babinis Jr. as well. Corner cut warning for Yua Puff as we go on to the penultimate lap of this race. And for Red Bull Sims Racing, one of their drivers may have wrecked out as Kynes gets a time penalty for track limits. One of their drivers may have wrecked out, but it shouldn't bother them anything. Not at all. Especially seeing the margin that they've got their lead driver with. David 12 with a time penalty for cutting corners. I think that's most of the field then getting time penalties for doing that exact same thing as the Red Devil holding off Babinis Jr. Fastest second sector for Remy Lebeau. U-Cable with a corner cut warning of his own as we go on board with the 97 of Daniel Bogdasarov. A lot of the tracks for next season will be getting some reforms, some major, some minor. It's like all of them having a lot more infrastructure put in place. But for this man, Remy Lebeau, 1 more lap to go. Fastest lap, a 105.383. This is a race that could be remembered for quite some time, as someone's gone off in that 3rd sector. It seems to be Charles Hernandez, which is unfortunate. But for this man, Remy Lebeau, and U-Cable, are you kidding me? Let me do a speech, guys. Your boys hit the wall as well. Remy Lebeau, if he is champion by the end of the season, we can look to this race as the kickoff point. The kickoff point for what promises to be one of the greatest title runs of all time, as Charles Hernandez has a full car puncture. That's a big worry, and I think Kynes, yes, Carlos Kynes, with the same issue as your race leader has come out of the chicane and has come out of it fine. Look at that. Awful Catfish coming up to the back and getting past. Ericsson's had an off of his... Oh, no! Oh, that's a big slide for Marcus Nelson. Flipped his car upside down. And for Remy LeBeau, he'll be told about this over the radio, I'm sure. That's victory for the Season 25 champion in Malmö. My goodness, that is the worst wreck I've seen in quite some time in the ERL. Marcus Nelson's car was upside down. Hernandez now at the very back of the pack. 12 moves up into third position, but he's got... Oh no, that's bad. Oh no! Oh no! U-Cable's out! Ericsson, the home driver, has taken out the two-time British champion. 12's going to come home. Is that going to be a podium? It won't be, but it's still a brilliant fourth place for him. Tyres blowing up and causing carnage. I mean, it's nothing new in the ERL, but that is still unbelievable levels of carnage at the line. Revo getting past Carlos Sainz. What will amount to 6th place. I mean, that is unbelievable. That's 2 airborne crashes on the same lap. We need to get away from these ERL O2s as soon as possible. I don't think the O1s had this level of airborne wrecks in such a short amount of time. We gotta know if he's okay though. We'll tell you at the end of the broadcast the conditions of U-Cable and Marcus Nelson. Here's your podium. It's red, white and blue and a speck of gold as Remy LeBeau taking victory from Awful Catfish and the Red Devil after a final lap with 2 vicious wrecks. We can confirm that Marcus Nelson and U-Cable, they are both alert. But my god, I sincerely hope that we don't see a wreck like that ever again in the ERL, at least not for that long. We've seen cars flip upside down, but we haven't seen them skid on the airbox. We have not seen them skid on the roll hoop before in this league. As for the rest of your finishes, David 12, 4th from teammate Zygmunt and Revo, who will take some points in advantage of Casper LeBeau, who did not finish, but we'll get onto that a bit later. Sebastian Ocampo, 7th from the home driver Linus Ericsson, who was involved in that last lap wreck. The 2 Mercedes drivers, Kynes from Babinus Jr., 9th and 10th. Outside of the top 10, you've got your boy from Daf Sanchez versus Theo, Bogdasarov and Hernandez with Dua Puff finishing a lap down. Your non-finishers, U-Cable and Marcus Nelson, who do seem to be alright, mainly just some bruises somehow for Marcus Nelson, but for U-Cable, his wreck at such slow speeds that there really wasn't anything to realistically be worried about. Enoch Q, Nico Palomino, Casper LeBeau, and Oinkro Ezra. In the championship standings, Revo, he leads the way, 22 points in front of Remy LeBeau. Casper LeBeau with the non-score. That drops him quite a ways down the order to 3rd, quite close to being outside of contention. Of course, 75 points left on offer, so realistically, everyone you see on your screen is a title contender, according to mathematics. The Red Devil just outside of that 100-point margin. Then it's Awful Catfish versus Theo. Nico Palomino and Daf Sanchez are top 8. Following them is a tie for 9th between Ericsson and Bogdasarov. Then it's a tie for 11th between U-Cable and Ocampo. Hernandez is 13th from David 12 and Dua Puff. Enoch Q, 16th from the 2 Mercedes drivers. Babinus Jr. 1 point up on Carlos Sainz. Then it's Zygmunt, your boy, Marcus Nelson, and Oinkro Ezra. Well, here are the constructors' standings heading into the penultimate round of the championship. Nord Hyperdrive beginning to finally pull away from Amlin Aguri. Then it's Red Bull Sims Racing closing in to the guys 2nd in points. Power Motorsport, they are 4th from Jaguar Martini and Team Edams Renault. Next EV Team China Racing are only 1 point in front of Andretti Autosport. Then it's Mercedes EQ, Dragon Racing, and Rocket Venturi 12. That is going to go down in history as the most chaotic final lap in the history of the ERL, in my opinion. I think the only race that could match that would be Season 22 Abuja, because that was also quite chaotic and hectic. But never have I seen two separate airborne incidents on the same lap. Can we just touch on Oinkro Ezra as well? 3 consecutive non-finishes and consecutive non-scores go back to round 10. His last points finish was in round number 9. This guy won the final A1GP 2025 race. We've got some more ERL madness coming up in the next 2 rounds in Vienna and in St. Petersburg, Florida. So from all of us here at Sparkplug Motorsport, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time then when the Electric Racing League returns.